Hi folks, this is Robert Stanson with TISP Research and Development. Um, Made a discovery last night, and I know I put out with the IR glasses, and yes, they do work. But I went and did some research and testing last night. you know, after dropping off a present from a good friend of mine from high school, and wanted to get him to hire him for to help him with my helmets and stuff and show the material products. Uh, so I decided, excuse me, kind of waking up this morning. Um, some serious freaking research and testing, taking myself up to the above and beyond level and limits that most TIs and most anybody else really wouldn't dare to put themselves through in order to find out some answers. What, as I say, somebody's got to do it, and somebody's got to take it in a scientific approach, experimental and human experiment purposes, and knowledge, and find what I need to know to negate and pick it apart, this targeting phenomenon. Um, I go pretty deep. Okay, last night I went down to an area out in the desert where it would be just me and them, just to maybe view them or whatever. Um, then I started noticing after I dropped off a present for my friend's birthday, and then hire him and let him know I got something for him, and I can use some help. And they were hitting me hard with the cap on. It worked perfectly. I did some changes. I ran a strip of copper all the way around just to see if I could take whatever energy of the direct hits, because it stops it, it redirects it. But the thing is that whatever residual that gets through, you do feel a little head pain and head strain. I mean, you can last throughout the whole day. It does not affect your brain, especially when you get down to the house and go to bed, and you don your reverse polarity magnet helmet, Magneto Gold or Medusa's Wrath. The next morning, it's like you recharge your batteries, and whatever damage they may have done or whatever, the magnets, after a good night's sleep and the helmet, the magnets will increase the blood flow, and in turn increase and speed up with a decent solid freaking healing of whatever that maybe could be bruise damage or whatnot, swelling of your brain. Um, that's like worst case scenario, But when I get back, usually, I take it off. My head does not really feel hurt or anything, no pain. It's just I could tell they get through it to a point where they hit your nerves on the outer skin, um, and but no brain pain. but So I beefed up the helm. The cap, the day cap. What I did was I could not find an idea to ground it, to make it very unnoticeable, so it just doesn't look, you know what I mean. And what I did was I took the copper and I stripped it all the way around, soldered it, and then soldered a wire that shoots up to the this little top little ring right here. And then what I did was I cut out a piece of metal that would fit this, and then I shoved it in there, and I took the wire that grounds out to the ground, shot it up to the metal piece in theory that it would ground out on the piece of metal. Okay, so I've done that, capped it. Doesn't even look like anything, and to see if that would work. Well, it does. What I've figured out from the day before and the other days throughout the week, I could feel now, since the energy used to fucking hit me back, excuse my language, hit me here and here, and then I'd just be like, they're hitting me, and it's like they really want a piece of me. And all right. But until when I implemented the copper strap around the hat, and then the ground wire into the ground of a piece of metal, now I don't feel any pain over here and here, or back here, but I feel the energy getting concentrated, pulled to the copper, and then that energy kind of just and this way. So I could tell that they were hitting me, but they weren't penetrating to a point where it was those key areas in the brain, which is very vital, and which proves to me that yeah, okay, what I just done to modify my day cap is most excellent, and I'm glad I thought of it. And just now, this morning when I woke up, I put it on. I can tell he likes to disorient me and really mess me up in the morning after I take off my helmet. And that's when he likes to attack. So I don't do anything or complete anything or take me forever to get done with anything. Usually about 3 or 4 hours, which is this morning. I woke up going, oh shoot, well it wasn't this morning, it was 2 o'clock. Because I was out freaking all night experimenting and trying to get my butt back. And I'll tell you that story in a second. But, I mean, and just now what I learned is that, because I had two wires, one running through the inside and to the ground, and one from the outside running to the ground on opposite ends. And what I think I discovered is that the energy was getting transferred inside, and which is I don't want. You want it to stay on the outside and then hit here and dissipate into the open air. I mean, I was going to solder a piece of wire pointing out, but then I'll have a little antenna, and it would. My whole idea was it would dissipate out, but I think the piece of metal was just good enough, and I don't want no things sticking out looking funny. So I wind up tearing out the wire that was inside, and then right after that, I put the hat on, and I felt a immediate difference from the wire inside and out. So I think the wire soldered to the copper on the outside brim and sent to the ground up above is a good idea. Maybe even two wires, one running from this side and one from this side. I don't know, because I feel something over here, but I think it's pressure, because I think I pushed in some of the moo metal. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think just one ground is good enough. Anyways, but it turned out beautiful. So that's how I'm going to make them from now on. Because I find the direct hits, I don't feel them. I can feel them sort of try to barely penetrating through, but just enough to where the my skin receptors were feeling the pressure. Last night and today I don't feel that pressure at all. So that's a good thing. So that just kind of proves it. Now you got to understand, I take this in a scientific approach. It's pretty cool and it's exciting, and it really drives you to hunt for the answers that that you don't know, and that most people really don't know at all, and even the ones that do know that don't know. Only because I'm not behind a computer and searching and finding answers that may or may not be true. The best thing advice that I've ever gotten in my life was like, do your own research. And so, yeah, do your own research. But when someone like me, I mean, as far as everybody else, I would have to say I have been pretty much the only one. And there's one guy from Canada that's really good, but he's not a TI. He has great ideas, but the only people that are gonna get us out of this, save us from this, find the right shielding for this, is a freaking TI. Plain and simple. There's no buts, ands, or anything. Anybody outside the community really will not know and will not find the answers. And too many people use that are educated or doctors or whatnot. They go by what they learned and maybe their arrogance of being a doctor or whatnot. Go with what they know. But none of them will ever take into a scientific approach to anything that they do. And I guarantee it, even if they do, they don't go in the depths that I do. I make sure that I test everything, and I go to an extent where it's where you can be in any situation at any time, and at any level of your travel and part of your life that you may be in. You know, so that way you are able to take their attacks and come out like you would on a normal basis. So you don't find yourself in a crash, in a wreck, or what they decide to try to do to you and play with your mind. Okay, here's the nitty gritty. So I scored last night. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make it home. Why pull over? And that's what they wanted me to do, is pull over and to take that. I left his house, but after about a couple hours, 2 beers. Actually, it was about 4 hours. 2 beers. I should have been fine, and I was fine. As I left, I could see the freaking. I'm on the freeway heading home, and I could see just a row of freaking circular lights, blue, across my IR glasses, and thick. I'm talking thick. They're really trying hard. I'm going, wow. They're freaking trying to disorient me and mess me up, because I was like, whoa. And then they would shoot in my ears going, freaking, oh, you're swerving, and I'm like, oh, what the hell? No, I'm, completely capable and driving my butt back home. And then they try to mess with your head, and then it's like, no, 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 no. All right, and then that's what I learned after that, and as I continued to try to, because I really wanted to just go, all right, I'm gonna take my lasers and freaking hit you, little bastards, and watch you, little bastards, like you've been doing to me, and then hopefully I'll come out with a discovery or something that I may learn from it, and I did. So as they were blasting me everywhere I went through the whole time, trying to yelling at me, saying "pull over," and saying, "oh," convincing myself or in my brain that I was drunk or high or whatever, and I was like, no, I'm not, and I mean, it just would not calculate. 2 beers, 4 hours, no, but they were just hitting me, and I could just see the waves, and then this blue light, and I got the IR glasses, and you could see the glasses refracting it, reflecting it, and stuff, and then through my travel and trying to figure this out, and then they're trying to stop me from getting to my point A to point B, and so what I did is I go, well, I guess this is a test of my ability to resist this this electronic hit, to stop me lock me down, shut me down, have me pull over as a sign of defeat, and as to make them to a point to convince my mind, so to speak, that they were more dominant and they can make me do anything they want me to do, and as well as stop me and stop my goal, my direction of travel to them, which is not going to happen. I back my shielding 100%. But what I'm saying is, I made it through, no problem. It was a little tough for maybe a novice. Um, like I said before, I've been a reconnaissance Marine in the Marine Corps, but not just my training, but um, my drive and where I'm from or whatnot. And I'm third generation Marine, and it's just I'm gonna get to where I need to go and what needs to be done. Nothing's gonna stop that. So my mindset. But what I found and discovered is that they use not just IR, but they use UV frequencies, and that's what told me through the frequencies that they were shooting, through the IR, or I mean through the UV lasers they were sending to penetrate. And one thing you got to understand is you can wear a pair of laser goggles, or UV, but you can't stop the IR unless you have both. I mean, you can't find a pair of glasses. Don't order a pair of glasses that says, "Oh, multi-wave glasses." And no, don't buy those. Make sure they're CE approved. And what you're going to do is you're going to buy a pair of IR glasses. I wish I had the website right here. I have to look it up. I'll put it on the bottom, the place where I get them at. Only because there's a guy that builds lasers, and if he approves of wearing a pair of glasses from a company, then I trust that those are really excellent pair of IR glasses quality. So I go with that because this guy, he's serious about his business. And then, after you buy a pair of IR from him, get yourself a pair of UV glasses. I suggest you wear the UV outside of the IR. Okay? Take apart the IR. I mean, mine's different, so I'm going to have to do a flipperoo on these ones because these are IR. And then take the glasses and then the lens from the UV or the IR, whichever. Well, actually, the IR, pretend these are UV, and glue them behind these ones right here, not in front. Only because, I mean, if you got a glue pair of freaking different shades on there, you're just gonna really look like a freaking how weirdo, and which is like, it's not gonna happen, we're normal people, we're just being freaking attacked by some assholes, that are arrogant and freaking literally sit on their little thrones, for after 30 years of nobody stepping up to them and actually, putting them in their place and figuring them out. People that are high and mighty on their horse and feel like a bunch of rulers over people, and they express their dominance, and you could tell they're narcissistic psychopath freak shows that have a computer to show it, but on the outside, on the out and about in the free world, they'll probably be either quiet, they'll probably be some of those people that are good to go and like a outstanding citizen and this and all this crap. Who knows, but you got to understand, behind the mask they're freaking freak shows, and literally, I mean, to get in a relationship with one of them, be careful, because if you do, you'll know that their narcissistic ways and their psychopathic mindset, you're going to be in a very abusive relationship. So key up on there for those that are not involved in any of this and that are. Because once you're in that relationship, you're stuck. Why? Because they will hold that on you. And if you ever leave them, you will become a target. I seen it personally. And it was a guy, and the female was a handler, or a perp, that works these drones. Um, um, I talked to him, and I was man to man, being neighborly. And he gave that expression like, he was like, when I was like, hey man, I'm your neighbor, da da da. He's like, oh, and just let me know if if a music's loud, I'll turn it down, blah blah blah. And he was just like, oh, and he looked to his girlfriend, like he was like under her thumb. And when she turned around, it was just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I can see it in her face, in her expression. And I can tell that he didn't have no say whatsoever, and he was locked in, trapped, her slave, and whatever, because um, he wasn't going anywhere, and she was a boss, no matter what. If he did go anywhere, his life would be fucking ruined, guarantee it. But I'm just saying, facts. But yeah, IR, UV, laser goggles, glasses. There'll be a link down below of the company that I use, um, and that's what just needs to be done. Most, and actually I think almost practically all the frequencies to put it in our head is through our eyes. And you want to know why I think that, and why I know that, and why I know for a fact it's that? Let me tell you. You could send frequencies through a human body's head. It's just like a computer. Um, if you had a wireless system, even a TV, and if you didn't have a receiver to read it, if you didn't have a laser diode to read a CD that you put into the computer, then the mainframe, the computer, will not have a way to read the information that is being put into it. So basically, if you didn't have a receiver to receive those signals, it can hit you in your brain or whatnot, fine and dandy. But it will not read or process the information they're shooting to your brain or your head or your eyes. The eyes are what reads everything. You can look at something, pick it apart, and your eyes describe the whole thing, which creates a picture in your brain. You can everything's through your eyeballs. Your eyeballs in thought is like a laser in a computer reading a CD, and everything that's getting shot out and around the atmosphere around their planet, that they're shooting out the frequencies to every human being in this freaking world. Our frequencies getting read by our eyes. So picture that as a CD, and our eyes are reading it. One thing you gotta remember too as well is that those frequencies are getting read in your eyes and will be downloaded in your brain pretty much. And also you'll have different parameters and different set commands and whatever entered in your brain that goes into the freaking to the where you won't notice and won't know. It's like a set of parameters, a set of freaking commands put into your computer, say to change, certain things in your computer that won't read out to your brain knowingly, if that makes sense. I don't know if I put it right, but it sounds good enough to me. And you won't even know it. Just those hidden things are put in your head, and as well as different things to hit your nervous system, your thinking, your mindset, what's around you, paranoia, freaking hysteria, who knows? Pretty much everything. It's just if you don't are not aware of it, it will consume you and take control in ways that maybe you think you know, but you don't know. Even if you're a TI. If you say, "Oh, I know when they're inducing thoughts in my head," maybe you might know, maybe you might not. You really have to know yourself and really hammer down on your brain by telling it, this is my frequency, this is my thought process, this is how I feel about things, and this is what I'm solid on. And after that, anything else is not yours. So to get back to your brain computing things, everything is through the eyes. All right, everything you've been told, everything that you picked up throughout the time of your targeting is more than likely either been number one, false, number two, disinformation, number three, told by someone that don't really fucking know. Plain and simple. Okay. I'm telling you this because I'm a hard target, straight up hard target. They try to hammer me no matter what, and they can't do it. And they can't. They have no method and way. And then whenever I break through some of this ice, and then with my research as a freaking a badass freaking Chicago freaking investigator or LA I mean, really good ass investigator that's meat and potatoes, finding out and digging into this crime. Got to do it. I'm an American fucking patriot. And freaking this terrorist freaking activity is deeply and widespread, just gone out of control. And as a citizen, as an American citizen, and my job, it's my freaking duty. Since my grandfather, since the Revolutionary War, against the British, a third percenter. Third percenter is different these days. It's gun rights is not. These days you don't really need guns. So mine weapons and control like that. That's the nitty gritty. But third percenters that I believe in is the our Constitution. Our amendment, our rights. Are getting freaking ran over and stepped on and shit on, and I don't appreciate that. And I've been a Marine since I was born, third, fourth generation. My family's been in the military ever since, and it's important to be aware of what's been going on. I mean, I know it's like God, freaking duty, country, whatever, but it comes to a point where you got to realize that you have to protect your country from tyranny, and this is what's going on behind the scenes. Someone's cranking them freaking them panels and behind a curtain, and is deceiving every one of us, and we have to be aware of it. Otherwise, not only us, but our children's children, the future of mankind, and the future of our country will be no longer. We can't push it off to the next generation by saying, what can we do? We need to put our feet down, learn this, dig in deep and fight it. They're taking over everything, people. And they're working fast. Why they're working fast is because they are, they know and they knew that once the information technology came into play, more and more things will be revealed. And so, hence, they're working to a point where they will get people to forget the old ways and implement the new ways of New World Order, as well as mind control and slavery over everyone. And that all someone has to do is just like, if they find a dissident and through the mind, because they're attached to everyone, they'll take them out. I'm not a dissident whatsoever. All you had to do is piss off one of these perps out in the free life, free world outside. So that's what happened. And, when you have that much power, you're arrogant and you're self-entitled. And it don't matter whether they're wrong or not. They're going to do whatever it takes to make you look like a horrible, disgusting, fucked up piece of shit person. And attack you and try to get you to ruin your life. Which is, none of us are. They're actually for hire, many of them. And this is how they make their income. They're criminals. I call them sky pirates. But anyways, enough of that. Get yourself a pair of IR and UV laser goggles or glasses. Take apart one of them and put one of them inside to overlap the other lens, so it protects you from two different attacks. And after I do it, I'll let you know after I go and test and do some research, field research, and find out whether there may be another frequency laser that they use to attack her eyes, whether it might be below the spectrum of what they're using, and from what the laser glasses that I have protect from, and I'll see, if I can work it from up and down. I don't know. There might be more than two layers of different frequency laser goggles and stuff on your glasses. But I tell you what, you will be more free than any person on this planet.